You ever noticed how your body will kind of control the mind? Joe Dispenza goes in a lot of conversations and talks about the mind-body relation. Is that our gut, our body, our mind, our body has its own mind. Our subconscious is our body, right? Like our subconscious is the one that's in control of our body. It's the one that is controlling the things behind the scenes. These invisible rabbits that I keep talking about. And I want this concept of invisible rabbits to be something that is, talked about, that people understand on a deeper level. And I'm going to talk about it forever because it's the invisible rabbits that are running the show. It's the invisible rabbits that take over and sabotage us. It's the invisible rabbits that multiply and manifest into bigger things, Things start as one negative thought, negative emotion, negative feeling, and those things start to multiply like rabbits. That's why they're invisible rabbits. And we feed them unconsciously in so many ways. Our subconscious mind controls our urges, controls so many of our things, our addictions, the difference between smoking the cigarette, not smoking the cigarette, drinking the liquor, not drinking the liquor, doing the drugs, not doing the drugs, sitting on the couch versus going to the gym. The way we talk to somebody and don't talk to, there's so many things about the body that just hijacks us, that controls us. Everything that we experience as an exterior, when we're blaming everything on the outside, or it's this person, it's that thing, it's this and that, that's really the body. That's really the subconscious. The subconscious is taking in that information and hijacking our higher level of consciousness, our higher being, our higher self, our higher value, the things we truly want to chase, our goals, our dreams. The subconscious hijacks it because it lives within an old story, an old program, things that are deeper within us that we don't fully, that we're not fully aware of. And until you become aware of these invisible rabbits, they will run the show. They will lead to states that put you into places that aren't resourceful. They will multiply quicker and quicker. Everyone knows that a positive thought versus a negative thought, the negative thought just multiplies and manifests, and people get sucked into the negativity because most of our thoughts are more negative than they are positive. Positivity takes a lot more effort. To be grateful takes a lot more effort. To actually write down our goals takes a lot more effort. Sometimes saying something kind about another person when we're feeling like shit takes a lot more effort. Smiling when we're not happy takes a lot more effort. Positivity it's the thing that starts killing the invisible rabbits. It's the thing that starts destroying those rabbits on a deeper level, and becoming aware of those stories, becoming aware of those invisible rabbits so they don't multiply, they don't manifest, they don't hijack our higher level thinking is the thing that's going to save most of us people, most of my brothers. Nobody lives in a constant state of depression because they're not being consumed by these rabbits. Nobody lives in constant states of anxiety because they're being consumed by these rabbits. Nobody lives in states of anger all the time because they're not being consumed by these rabbits. These rabbits multiply into so many different areas of our lives, and we got to start killing them. We got to start starving them. We got to, get in touch with our higher self, get in touch with our higher mission, have goals. When we get in touch with this and we can hijack our subconscious now, consciously we can start hijacking the subconscious. We can start destroying these rabbits. We can start chasing some bigger things. We can get some longitude and latitude on our life so we're not just willy-nilly in it and allowing this old, outdated stories, because there's going to be a lot of them, to control the show, right? We don't want an old, outdated story to be taking the direction of our life for us. We don't want that. Typically, that's not going to be good. It's going to come from our trauma. It's going to come from our hurt, our pain. That's what the subconscious really is in control of, the survival mechanism. It's the fight or flight, right? We don't want that to be the thing that runs the show constantly. And most people are living within that state and that place. And that's the thing that really starts to fuck with a lot of people, right? So the problem is that most people lack the tools to be able to see these invisible rabbits. They don't know the questions to ask themselves. They don't know how to hijack their subconscious temporarily to see what story is actually existing behind the scenes. And that's what, I work with people. I've designed and I'm working on this thing that I'm calling the men's medicine cabinet. It's the medicine that you need because it's the questions that you need to ask yourself. It's in a sequence. You start off with the place of pain, whether that's anger, anxiety, depression, addiction. That's where we start. And then we go through the next phase of the medicine cabinet, which is the real medicine. That's the real work, where we look at breaking the cycle, where we look at NLP reframing, where we do deeper reflection, where we do our identity recode, where we do a vision builder, where we work on our affirmations, where we work on goal setting. And then we end that with basically, it's like the medication that will continue on, which is a tracker, which is a momentum builder. And that's where we go. And when we go through this process, we can start with the pain, hijack our subconscious, work on the deeper level stuff to know what invisible rabbits are there. And then we can get proper direction. And then we work on that daily to make sure that we're locking in that new framework, that new identity that we want to chase. And we stop getting consumed by these invisible rabbits. So I hope you got some value from this conversation. I hope you got some value from just listening to this. I hope you're having a blessed Saturday. We're just out actually doing a bottle drive right now to raise money for my lady. She likes to do this every year around Christmas time, and we will buy meals for families. We'll sometimes buy Christmas gifts for the families that really need it, and we'll adopt some families to just spread some love, spread some abundance. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just taking a little bit of a pause here. Got some bottles right there. And we're going to collect as much money as we can today, and to help out people, and doing little things like that are things that you can do to start hijacking your subconscious, to feel gratitude and feel happy. And, I encourage anybody to give back to somebody, to, spread some love when you can, to just be grateful for the people that are around you, and just start there. So much love. Appreciate your guys' time and listening to this. A little bit of a longer video, but for those that listen, I hope you get a ton of value. Much love.